So the Lexicon for the Living Being is the language that you're going to have to be familiar with in order to travel from galaxy to galaxy. And this is extremely important. Many beings on this planet conduct themselves by the rules of the town or the rules of a state. But what you want to do is we want to create a ladder that'll go from acknowledging the existence of the laws of your town, the laws of your state, the laws of your country, the laws of the planet, then the laws of nature, the laws of creation, and the universe. And those are the laws that are important to travel from galaxy to galaxy. So, in the process of becoming familiar with this language, which is very important for Operation Freedom, and this is going to be necessary to free the human race. Basically, where you want to go to find out about this is the Ayn Rand Institute, and you can find out more about that at AynRand.com or AynRand.org. That's AYNRAND Lexicon LEXICON.com. So I was mistaken when I said AynRand.com. It's AynRandLexicon.com. Or AynRand.org. That's AYNRAND.org. And this is going to be specifically important to the mixed martial arts industry, for the martial artists to understand this, and also, well, actually everybody on the planet to understand it, and the police and the military, emergency services, all emergency services and military, and whoever is, whatever computer experts are putting together the QSETI, the quantum computer, and both the quantum computer and the website. So, another way you could find out about it is I would just ask your doctor or ask your attorney or your lawyer, and maybe they know and maybe they don't. But either way, it's important for you to become familiar with it, and those are the sources. That's where you should start. Now this is what it looks like. I can't show this whole piece of paper because this gets a little bit controversial, but I could show you this much, and this will just let you know when you're on the right track and you found the correct language. And specifically, you see the A and the E that are connected together there. That's what you want to focus on. That's what it looks like when it's typed, and when it's handwritten, it looks like this. Now, some dots you're going to want to connect when you're doing it, and this is specifically, this is going to be specific, well, it's going to be specific to everybody, but for the mixed martial arts industry, I'm going to be suggesting a new contract that's written specifically by the fighters. And what you want to do is you want to connect the dots between the Lexicon for a Living Being and the three branches of government. One branch of government, the legislation, and then the judicial, and then the executory. Legislation is thinking, judicial is feeling, executory is physical. And it's very important in the process of creating that contract to know that and be able to connect those dots. Also, in the process of activating superpowers, one superpower that we are going to be recommending to activate is invisibility. And the Lexicon for the Living Being, it gets into that, And basically, if you're referring to an entity that is real and it is just not within the visible electromagnetic spectrum, then you would refer to that information, and it would be written, instead of just straight lines, it will be written in dashes, and that's what it'll look like. So that term refers to invisibility, and you also want to be well aware of that in the process of activating your superpowers there. Okay. And that'll also be one of the investigations when I get into investigations. So that takes care of that, and that will lead you in the right direction there. And if anyone needs any further assistance, I'm here, and just require clear, direct, honest communication. And then the last thing, I said that that was going to be the last thing, but there's one more thing for level 5, and that is to have no fear. No fear at all. When you have no fear, and that's it. So that is the general backbone of the course. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill in some blanks for the QSETI computer and QSETI website. So this first link here, we got the sacred geometry, so we know what we need to do there. But just put a course and be able to print out sheets and go through different exercises, specifically to activate your pituitary gland and exercise that. The next link is spiritual development. So basically what we want to do, well, what I'll do is I'm going to complete this link right now, and I'm going to say everything I need to say about spiritual development. Now, spiritual development, that's what this whole thing is about. That's pretty much the bottom line for everything. And we are, well, we're simplifying a lot of this information. So, you know, if there's somebody out there with an extremely expanded consciousness, you know, people might not agree with everything that I'm saying here. But I'm trying to reach people. I mean, if you believe the earth is flat, I'm trying to reach people, you know, that level of consciousness too, right up through, and get the human race to the point where we can actually fly again. So, spiritual development, bottom line to everything. Now, when I'm using the terms expanded consciousness, increased awareness of surroundings, expanded conscious awareness, deeper level of understanding, higher level of awareness, expanded perception, that's all expansion of consciousness, that's all spiritual development. I consider that pretty much all the same stuff. It's just becoming more aware of your surroundings. And in order to become more aware of your surroundings, you have to work strictly with the truth. Nothing but the truth is going to work. So in the process of talking about this, I'm just boiling it down to that. Which people could disagree with that, but I'm just, you know, maybe I'm oversimplifying it a little bit, but I just want to make sure I reach everybody and there's no one left behind here. Now in the process of this, you also you know, hopefully you will have, this website will have been set up and you've taken this course and understand everything that I've went over so far. And at this time, righteous indignation and rebuking error is very, very important to understand and know in the process of legitimate spiritual development. And so I went over, you know, as far as the definition of God, Personally, I define God as all that there is. That's how I see. That's what I see God to be. Other definitions that I feel are legitimate is the one living light that shines through all. The ever-present supporting presence of love, or source. And those are all pretty good definitions. But you've been exposed to the fact that all is one and the law of one, and hopefully you are aware of that at this time. So in the process of, once you understand that you are God, right, and God is using you as a vessel, you're as much a part of God as anybody else. You still, a lot of people, you could just shoot from the hip and just go with that, and that's fine. Or you would want to take advice from someone, or take your cues from someone in the process of spiritually developing. So I listed 8 questions that you can ask this person just to make sure you have somebody legitimate teaching you true spiritual development. The first question is, are you familiar with extraterrestrial presence in the universe? Now, if they're not familiar with extraterrestrial presence, there's millions of people who are, so yeah, I would end the conversation right there and say, okay, thank you. I'll get my spiritual development from somewhere else, because extraterrestrial contact is one of the services that I provide, and it's one of the services that millions of people provide. And it is, as far as I can see, it's no longer acceptable to claim to be helping someone develop spiritually, or if you're a doctor and people are looking to you for advice, either not to be aware of extraterrestrial presence, or to be aware of it and to withhold that information is really not right. And there's an infinite amount of reasons for that, which actually you should already be aware of. Next question is, are you aware of the 4th dimension? Because this information is available, and it's not taught in the public school system, but there is no reason not to be aware of the different dimensions. I'm from a different dimension. I'm living proof of the different dimensions. I was not born here. It's provable, and that's it. So if you're relying on someone for advice on spiritual development, which from what I can see is the most important thing to possibly do right now, they should be aware of the 4th dimension. They should be able to answer yes to all of these questions that you're asking, or I'm asking. Are you familiar with sacred geometry? That's all. A lot of, like the school system, they go into, and I'll get into this more with education, but they teach advanced forms of calculus, and people never heard of sacred geometry before. And that's, you could skip over all the algebra and calculus just with a little sacred geometry. So, next question, is God within me? And they should say yes. That's it. If they're teaching you, okay, go look for God over here, go look for God over there, you're God, and that should not be. The human race needs to become aware of that, and that's it. Do you teach ascension? I was, for most of my life, I've never even heard the word ascension. And then once the spaceship landed in my backyard and I started learning this stuff, everything was, ascension is one mechanism to reach a higher level of existence, and you need to know that ladder is there. And if they don't teach it or know anything about it, then I would go to somebody else. Next question, is fluoride unhealthy? Now, fluoride is poison, bottom line. And this information is completely available, and there's no excuse to be working with anything, with a lower paradigm than that.